Now, to quote The Clash, should I stay or should I go? Have you returned to the office yet? Well, as the COVID Omicron wave passes, workers, well, slowly, they're returning to our CBDs. Sydney and Melbourne have seen, as I say, a gradual return. Office occupancy has increased by 11% since January. But look, it's still a long way below pre-COVID levels. Let's bring in here Ken Morrison, Executive Director of the Property Council. His group is crunching the numbers. Ken, it's always good to have a chat to you. I just want to start here and say, effectively, it looks like people are coming back to the office, but it's not as fast as what people might imagine. Certainly not back to its pre-COVID levels, is it?
No, it's not. And look, it's unsurprising. Here we've obviously had the Omicron outbreak, which has affected most of our CBDs. It's affecting Perth now for the first time. So what we've seen in these numbers is really we're bouncing back to pre-Omicron levels of occupancy, remembering that, December last year we were coming out of that Delta phase. So look, we look at this positively. It's a good bounce back in February. There's a lot of businesses in Sydney and Melbourne and Brisbane and Canberra that have only just started opening their doors again to their staff. So we would expect occupancy to significantly increase over the next month, and we see a big pickup. So a good start, but as you say, a lot more to do.
Okay, one interesting part about this is many people have talked about the future of work and even the future of the office post-COVID. And this is one of the keys right now, isn't it? Whether really, the amount of office space that's out there is needed, whether there's going to be office buildings turned into apartments, whether there's going to be a change of use in many buildings. This is one of the keys in terms of the number of people who actually eventually end up back in the office on a permanent basis.
Yeah, well, you're quite right, Ross, and there's actually two different things going on here. So businesses have decided that 2 years into the pandemic that a CBD office is essential to what they do. And we've seen that in another data set that we look at, which is what's happening with leased office space. We've actually seen an increase in leased office space in CBDs over the last 6 months. So that means businesses are not walking away from CBDs. They want to be in CBDs. But obviously, how they're going to use that office will change a lot over time. And so we're seeing an increased focus on the office as a place where people collaborate, where people come together, where people build culture, are refocusing on learning and development as something we haven't done enough of the last 2 years if we spent too much time at home. And also the ability to connect with your clients, to rust on those relationships, which are all about where you're getting your revenues from. So we are seeing that focus and an evolution in what the workplace means, what the office space means. And at the same time, we're just seeing the start of this wind back as people come out of lockdown requests and start re-engaging with their offices.
It also takes you to the future of the office of the future, which, as you say, is a place of collaboration, not necessarily a place of permanent workstations. That also is another way in which more efficient use, maybe less use of office space in the future for many of those corporates that are in the CBDs that we're talking about.
Well, yeah, actually we're seeing the reverse, in fact. What we're seeing is companies who have spent probably 2 decades jamming their people into less space have said, look, we can't really do that anymore. People want more space and we want to provide them with that space. And also providing the breakout rooms and the meeting rooms with, video into them so you can do mixed mode meetings. These sort of spaces also mean more space. So actually what we've seen over the last 6 months is business saying, we want to be in a CBD and actually we're going to need a bit more space while we work out what this new normal is for our workplaces. And what we're just on the cusp of, obviously, is this wind back to the office that people will see. So, clearly post-COVID, an office will be different than pre-COVID. More people will probably be doing more remote work, more of the time. But the office is not dead. It's very much alive, and it will evolve into this hub of activity and this hub of connection, which is so important to everything that a business does.